Hi everyone, Nice Than a Dream, Tano here, the internet's busiest music nerd, and it's time for a review of this new IDK project, USEE For Yourself. This is a new album of material from Maryland rapper IDK. Over the last several years, IDK's profile has been getting bigger and bigger and bigger. With the release of his Is He Real project, the numerous tracks and singles that have popped off in the midst of his IDK and Friends series, and now he's cashing in on that success so far with a feature list and a track list that seems like his biggest and most robust yet. To put it simply, I went into this LP looking for ambition, looking for growth, looking for new heights from this guy, especially considering the conceptuality of Is He Real and the allusions to God and the human condition IDK was making on that record. I thought maybe IDK would dig even deeper into that or something else on this project. And I also went into this hoping he would hit upon a more distinct sound this time around too, as historically IDK has been a guy who has very much worn the influence of his contemporaries on his sleeve. But even after a few years of incubation with this project, I think USEE For Yourself ends up in a word, as just middlebrow. Obviously, this thing is not as mindless as a Lil Pump record, but it's not nearly as deep or as unique as it's broadcasting itself to be. 'Cause big picture, USEE For Yourself, I think this project is kind of okay, kind of bland, and kind of lacking direction. There are moments where IDK fails to muster up strong bangers, like on the cuts featuring Offset and Young Thug, where both deliver painfully average verses. And those are the clear attempts at going mainstream in the track list. With the track Red, we get One for the Heads as it touts appearances from Westside Gunn, MF Doom, Jay Electronica, but it's actually one of the weakest songs on the entire LP. The Westside intro's so brief, it's just a non-factor. We have more derivative Kanye flows from IDK. The MF Doom appearance is more of a snippet than a feature about social media that everybody tries to bounce off of, sort of making the song about that in a way, but it doesn't go deep enough into that topic to really say anything profound or interesting about it. And then Jay Electronica on the back end, of course, drops like a really cringe Fauci anti-vax bar that's awkward as fuck. I have no idea why people are still excited to hear the stuff that he has to say. The guy seems to continually just like put his foot in his mouth due to all of his warped points of view. The beat's kind of a mess too. Mix is not great, and stylistically doesn't really bring, I guess, the aggression or grit you would expect from a song with these artists featured on it. But it's not even like IDK is doing anything that profound on the front end of the record with some of the solo tracks as well. Dogs Don't Lie, for example. How does this not sound like just a cut-rate Kanye buildup? I mean, every single bar, nearly every single bar on this track sounds like the result of some creative writing course based around My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. We have a few smooth, sensual cuts in the middle of the record, bunched together, of course, because we have to pander to every single taste in chunks because the whole record is so damn focus grouped. There's the Sunny and Sexy Puerto Rico, where I guess IDK's singing voice goes over better than I expected. It's pretty impressive. There's the Temporary Love interlude featuring Sir, where we get a stunning vocal performance from him on the back end that's quite nice. Then there's the In Love with a Stripper anthem, 10 Feet, featuring, of course, T-Pain. On this one specifically, we kind of get some Kendrick and Kanye type flows over a glistening instrumental that calls back to the days of like LL Cool J's I Need Love. And yeah, again, these tracks are just okay. Like much of the material here, we get a bare minimum of requirements that prevent the songs from being outright horrible, but then beyond there, they fail to really do much that stirs up anything in terms of excitement or memorability. The track Keto, though, does stir up something in me, as it is a trashy club anthem with one of the worst Neptunes beats I've heard in a while. The thin claps, droning synths, kind of house-inspired bass, but there's not really a point where the beat pops off or establishes a strong punch. And IDK, Sway Lee, and Rico Nasty on the same song kind of goes together like peanut butter, mayo, and motor oil in a spinach wrap. But for whatever reason, with the exception of Peloton, the last leg is where IDK lyrically starts to go in and say some pretty profound stuff. There is the song 1995, where he goes pretty deeply into this reflexive feeling of violence, fear, anxiety born out of feeling neglected as a kid. He goes into his emotionally cold household with a lot of detail. This song also features one of the most creative beats on the entire LP, with some beatboxed rhythms, warped tones, and strings hanging in the background, some really sour electric piano keys too. The track Hey Auntie also hits upon a lot of the same themes: IDK's need of love, his need of familial affection, and lyrically going into what is essentially like his ideal situation, his ideal upbringing, what it would have been like if life were great with mom and dad and Lunchables and breakfast in the morning and so on and so forth. And even though it's a happy depiction, you can't help but feel for the guy due to his lack of being able to grow up with that. And there is a really extreme admission of abuse in the midst of the track that I think most rappers would just not ever be vulnerable enough to divulge in a song. The way Legend Slick Rick ties things up in the end of the track is kind of nice, and Crying in Church is a powerful finisher for the record as well, in a way bringing things full circle with his last LP, because he does tangle a little bit with these themes of spirituality and love once again. He also goes into this personal pursuit of happiness, preferring that over wealth and isolation. Once more lyrically, it is well thought out. Vocally, it's an animated performance, and we have him just diving more deeply into his family baggage. The way he ties it up with DMX at the end in that prayer clip many of us have heard up until this point is really great. The closure moment of the LP, where he's reaching out to his mom, is quite nice as well. And I don't know, I mean, these are great tracks. I love these tracks. I love these moments on the LP. I'm just kind of stunned with this kind of focus and with this kind of lyricism and this ability to tell stories so effectively. Like, why did it take so long? Why did we have to go this deep into the LP to get something of this much emotional depth and substance? So somehow this record turned out even less focused than his last one was. While, yeah, there are some touching and profoundly dark and personal moments on the back end, the rest of this LP just kind of reads to me like blah. Feeling a light 5 on this one. Transition. Have you given this album a listen? Did you love it? Did you hate it? What would you rate it? You're the best, you're the best. What should I review next? Hit the like if you like. Please subscribe and please don't cry. Hit the bell as well. Over here next to my head is a video that you can check out. Hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano, IDK, forever.